Let's now try a bit to understand how everything started and how it came to be what it is today. Because of their nature, USB drives have, long before bad USBs appeared, have been used for different attacks. Most commonly just having some viruses on the USB drive so that when somebody would plug it in and execute that specific file thinking that it's, I don't know, maybe an image or an Excel document or something like that, something interesting, it will actually run a program which will execute a code. A lot of these exploits took advantage sometimes of the auto-run functionality. So it has been known in the hacking community that USBs are a very nice target, are a very nice way to infect and take control of computers. Tinsy was probably one of the most known and still remains a very known development board, which as early as 2006, 2007 already was a development board with USB support. And this really opened up to a lot of possibilities. And not surprisingly, in 2008, a product called Phantom Keystroker was brought to the market, basically just to prank somebody. So you could configure the device to make some mouse movements or to type some random keys. So you would be basically inserting it in a computer, and the person who using the computer will notice that something weird is happening with the computer. But it didn't really hack the computer itself. It just exploited this vulnerability. And of course, as soon as such a product was on the market, security researchers and hackers noticed the potential of basically modifying the firmware of the USB so that it would be recognized as something else. And with this programmable capability, you can really turn them around. And as early as 2010, there were already some example projects that took advantage of the TNC development board to execute such an attack. Also in 2010, the USB Rubber Ducky was launched on the market and remains up to date, probably the most popular product out there. And the company producing the USB Rubber Ducky had initially other USB drives that were used for other attacks, but as soon as the operating systems updated and, for example, the auto-run functionality was disabled, they become obsolete. But with the USB Rubber Ducky, they are still on the market since 2010. A bit later, in 2014, a couple of German security researchers looked again into attacking different USB devices and really made a list of a lot of other possible attacks, of other possible type of devices that are vulnerable. So not just this typical keystroke attack where you just emulate a keyboard, but much further. Up to this day, USBs remain fairly unprotected, and with such devices out there, it's really not safe to do anything. So what I want you to do is just to put a bit in perspective, how long has this been known? And unfortunately, till today, there are still no decent solutions to protect against this such of security issues. And as the research in 2014 showed, it's not really only about this kind of attacks where you just have a keyboard that does something. Some attacks theoretically would be possible by inserting a USB device to, for example, completely rewrite the BIOS of a computer and to do other things. So the possibilities are limitless, and it's basically always a matter of time till somebody really finds a way to reverse engineer a piece of firmware and to make it do bad things.